The new Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS is here. It promises more power, state-of-the-art technology, and a more aggressive design. But how much has really changed compared to the previous version? A little more power, slightly modified technology, and a slightly revised look. So is the update worth the extra cost? Let's take a closer look at what has changed and what the new naked bike has to offer compared to its predecessor.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Welcome to the Motorcycles News. Triumph has unveiled its Speed Triple 1200 RS for 2025, a naked bike that wants to dominate the road and the racetrack. The highlights are a more powerful engine, improved electronics, and semi-active suspension. But the central question remains: do these innovations make the machine revolutionary, or rather, a clever facelift? The Speed Triple is a symbol of power and precision. Will it live up to this reputation in 2025?
Engine and performance. More powerful, but is that enough?
The three-cylinder 1160cc engine has been revised. Findings from Moto2 development are said to have been incorporated into the changes to the engine. The power output is now 183 horsepower at 10,750 revolutions per minute, 3 horsepower more than before, and a torque of 128 Newton-meters at 8,750 revolutions per minute. Previously, it was 180 horsepower at 10,750 revolutions per minute and 125 Newton-meters at 9,000 revolutions per minute. Triumph also claims improved throttle response and a smoother response. The optimizations, a lighter engine in a slightly more compact design. However, more precise data on the weight reduction is not given. The exhaust system has also been revised for a better gas flow. However, the typical three-cylinder sound has of course been retained, and a Krapovich titanium silencer will also be available as an option. But are these 3 horsepower and 3 Newton-meters really noticeable, or just numbers on paper? Only a test drive will be able to show this, but whether this really has an effect in everyday life remains questionable. Unfortunately, I don't have a performance diagram for the new model, how the power develops. The new chassis may be more noticeable here.
Chassis and handling. Technology for the road and racetrack.
The chassis uses technology for the road, but also for the racetrack. A semi-active Uhlin Smart EC3 suspension is new. However, this is not an extreme surprise, as it could already be seen in the first-ever pictures from March 2024. In addition, the Cafe Racer version, the RR, was already equipped with semi-active suspension, albeit version 2.0. But what does that do? Automatic adjustment of the damping to the respective riding situation within milliseconds. It can also be individually adjusted via OBTI, the objective-based tuning interface. Firmness, cornering support, braking support, and more can be adjusted. Specifically, it is possible to tune the fork and suspension strut when braking, accelerating during initial acceleration, from a standstill or from low speeds, and then tune it when cornering or cruising. The weight is now stated as 199 kilograms ready to ride, 1 kilogram more than the previous model, despite the lightweight lithium-ion battery. Nevertheless, according to Triumph, the machine is one of the lightest in its class. There has also been a change in the tires. The Metzeler Racetech RR has now been replaced by Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SPV3 tires. Braking is provided by Brembo Stylomer brake calipers with adjustable MCS levers for finely adjustable transmission ratios for a personalized braking feel.
Electronics. Everything under control.
The Speed Triple 1200 RS still has a comprehensive electronics package, but now with new features. There are also different riding modes: rain, road, sport, track, and an individually configurable rider mode. However, the modes have been slightly revised. There is also lean angle ABS and traction control. New is the 4-stage wheelie control and the brake slide control system for controlled drifting. However, this is only possible in track mode. Another new feature is an emergency brake warning system. If you hit the brakes hard, the rear brake light flashes to warn the traffic behind.
Connectivity and comfort.
All of this is controlled via the 5-inch TFT display with My Triumph connectivity, which can be used for navigation, telephone, and music. There is also fully adjustable cruise control, which is practical for longer journeys with this machine. There is also a keyless ignition system, not only for the ignition but also for the fuel filler cap. The answer to this is, of course, individual to each of you, but how much of this technology is really helpful and practical? Or is there more nice to have, or is it something that nobody needs?
Design. Evolution instead of revolution.
The Speed Triple remains true to its DNA. Of course, the classic twin headlights and the striking single-sided swing arm remain. New for 2025, slightly sharper lines, a more minimalist rear end, and new colors, such as granite performance yellow. Wider and higher handlebars and a narrower seat contour for sporty comfort have been installed. There are also black details on the fork and triple clamps for a more aggressive look. Have you noticed the changes? Is it good that not too much has been changed, or would you have liked more?
Comparison with the 2021 version. Is the update worth it?
Let's take another quick look at the changes compared to the previous model to see whether the new model is worth it for you or whether you should perhaps still go for the old model. 2021 engine, 180 horsepower with 125 Newton meters and Euro 5. 2025 now, 183 horsepower, 128 Newton meters, 3 horsepower more and 3 Newton meters more, and that with Euro 5 Plus. Euro 5 Plus is now mandatory for first-time registration, but unfortunately I am not currently aware whether Triumph has a special permit for remaining stocks. However, the previous model is still listed on the homepage. Suspension 2021 model and after, a manual Öhlins suspension 2025, semi-active Öhlins Smart EC3 suspension with OBTI. Electronics new in 2025, brake slide control, extended wheelie control, and the emergency brake assist. There was a change in the original equipment tires, 2021, Metzeler Racetech RR, and now, from 2025 with the new model, Pirelli Diablo Super Corsa SPV3. The weight has increased by 1 kilogram compared to the previous model, despite the lighter lithium-ion battery. Price so far, €18,245. And now, the 2025 model, just under €20,000 plus transfer costs. The new features sound good, but are they worth the extra price?
Conclusion.
Who is the Speed Triple 2025 made for? Triumph is aimed at riders who are looking for a bike that is equally at home on the road and on the racetrack. The combination of performance, technology, and design is impressive, but is always a matter of taste and depends on individual requirements. But could Triumph outperform the competition with even more innovation? The only question that remains is whether this is a revolution or just a clever facelift. And would you go for the 2025 Speed Triple or stick with its predecessor?